Well, good evening. I better set this timer because I want to get right off. I pray that you have a good week coming, but I want you to pay attention to what Abba wanted me to talk to you about concerning chocolate flattery. That is an undercover blocker, whether you want to believe it or not. We all like to give flattery in some form, but we got to pay attention to how we're doing that and making sure people know that we're flattering them and sometimes in a good, way to give them encouragement. But I want to share out of my book that is entitled Chocolate Covered Flattery. You can get a copy of it at Amazon. And I think you need to get this book. If I've ever written one of my books before beyond my story, I think this is one I believe God really, really want to help us with, especially preparing for 24. There is a lot of deceptive voices going on there. There's a lot of people that are desperate for relationships, desperate for people to connect, desperate to be able to get things their way. So they use flattery and pay attention to the chocolate covered flattery. It's a very serious matter. I talk about it in depth on page 22 of my book. I talked about the anointed soothing tongues. And I gave Proverbs 12 and verse 8 that says, a man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. And so this perverse heart is one that's really got some evil intentions. And I also talk to those who have been following us on our really remnant calls that this is the hour that we have to prepare for these non-birthing, nurturing areas of our own soulish realm in our lives to be able to see where we're at in the natural based on where we're headed for the future. So for 24, before 24, I talked about working on these 9 different ways that you need to start to purge and intentionally ask God for how He would have you to process these 9 areas. Now, I'm not going to go over all 9, but I want to talk to you about 2 of them, no, 3. 3 that I think is very key out of the 9, and that is to forgive, filter, and finalize. Forgive, filter, and finalize. And that means you're going to have to forgive whoever it is that's hurting you and deceiving you and playing you. And you're going to have to filter the relationship. Some of you have to let some of these relationships go that are truly chocolate covered flattery. And so before I get into this page, I just want to make sure you realize you're going to have to finalize that because they ain't going to be able to go where you're going. And God is not going to allow this flattery to be there with this smooth talker that's got you in this place. So on page 22, it says, let's clarify the difference between encouragement and flattery. Some flattery may be true or it may be not true. Okay. This is not the principal issue. You may be saying something true about somebody and still be flattering. No matter how you make a sandwich or a pancake, they both have 2 sides. Say like that. Therefore, the issue is whether it is calculated to achieve some purpose that is not rooted in authentic, spontaneous delight that we take in the virtue we are praising. That you got to think about. In other words, the key mark of genuine, non flattering praise is that it's the overflow of authentic delight in what we are observing about the other person. It is the opposite of calculated manipulation. It is spontaneous encouragement. Think about that for just a minute. So, we delight to praise what we enjoy because the praise not only expresses but completes the enjoyment, but flattery does not flow from a sincere delight in the thing being praised. It is all external and manipulative. It is elicited out of us by some other benefit that we're hoping to get through the flattery, not by the benefit that we just got from the person's kindness, virtue, beauty, or accomplishment. Many of us have been verbally oppressed or controlled by parents or leadership to the point that we cannot accept when a person is trying to encourage us during the challenging times of our lives. If you notice the word encouragement, the word has the word courage in it. Courage means to inspire someone to be courageous, hopeful, and confident. We take so much of our strength and resilience for granted. Courage isn't about being a battle ready soldier all the time. Some days there is courage in simply saying, tomorrow is another day to begin again. We show courage on a daily basis because our lives and the lives of those we love matter to us. I like Marianne Radmacher's quote that says, and it's very powerful about courage. She said, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is a silent voice at the end of the day that says, I will try again tomorrow. Have you noticed that when we feel deeply passionate about something, we seem to find courage easily? This is what I want to say to you as I get off of here. If there's any a time that we have to watch those people who are trying to give us flattery, believe it or not, it is not all the time, or it is not some of the time, but the anointed, soothing tongues do use flattery, and they speak swelling, manipulative words. Pay attention to those that are close to you. Pay attention to those that God is trying to show you that this is chocolate covered flattery, and they're there to at the expense of your own time and your wisdom and what God has given you. They want to speak these swelling words to make you look important so they can get you right where they want you at, to manipulate you, to con you, to put you in a place that they can really, really manipulate you to do what they would have you to do. But they are sent by the devil as a blocker. They're a block where God is taking you. They're a block to be able to get you from the place that God has put you in for you to move forward. The most general statement about flattery is simply this: it's destructive effects. If you think about it, the effects of it is to block you. Proverbs 26 and 28 says, a flattering mouth works ruin. And then Proverbs 29 and 5 says, a man who flatters his neighbor is spreading a net for his steps. Think about that. That's the blocker. So the key question becomes, how can we celebrate or praise good things about another person without spreading a net for their feet or working their ruin? I think the key difference between good praise and bad flattery is this: flattery, even from anointed, soothing tongues, is bad because it's calculated. It is given with a view to obtain anything they could, some selfish advantage. Say like this: in these last days, the Bible tells us, if you think about it, that they're going to be scoffers. They're going to be there out of their own unrighteous passions. They're there to divide. They're there to cause you to be separate so that you can be clinging to them in whatever form. Believers should always pursue honest encouragement toward others. Do not say it if you know it's not real. Do not go with them if you know they're not real. You're going to have to make sure you understand that it is sent by the devil to block you with the chocolate covered flattery. Get the book, Chocolate Covered Flattery. You can get it on Amazon. And remember, sin is very expensive for a believer. Like I always say, you're going to know them by their fruit. And as I said earlier, no matter how you make a sandwich or a pancake, they both have two sides. I gotta go. Love you. Please share this message. Chocolate flattery will destroy you. It's a blocker.